Hey, I'm Veronica from UXPressia. Let me briefly introduce you to what we at UXPressia do. UXPressia is an online platform where you can build customer journey maps, impact maps, and personas for your organization. With more than 100 ready-to-use templates, you can speed up your persona creation and mapping processes. To help you build confidence on your journey and learn from other practitioners, we host community events on user, customer, employee experience, and all things journey mapping. Our speakers are industry experts that are willing to share their knowledge to help you design and build better products and services. We also speak at the events ourselves and share tips and tricks we learned through years of practice and numerous interviews with other mappers. On top of that, we have UXPressia Academy, where you can dive into learning how to build journey maps, personas, and conduct interviews. And do that all at your own pace. Don't forget to check it out and enjoy the event.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today to talk about guiding the customer throughout their journey. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to taking you on the same journey that we were on when we figured out kind of the steps in this talk. And hopefully you'll be able to invite some of your customers on a journey of your own. I'm going to talk to you about why we have this buyer's journey, hopefully take you through personas, what they are and how we do it, the actual journeys, the buyer's journey that we take our customers on. Hopefully this will give you the tools you need to move people, both metaphysically, physically, and theoretically. What should you take away from this talk? Well, the background for what we're doing. What is the buyer's journey? How you can use it to impact your business? What are the benefits of thinking in a buyer's journey mindset? How can you think to kind of move the customer from step to step, every increasing your value to your clients? How do you use it in all aspects of your business? Where to begin? Before I take you into today's topic, let me introduce myself. Who am I? Not existentially necessarily, but why am I talking to you on this subject? My name is Hallgeir Gustavsen, and I have a little over 20 years of experience in the digital marketing and creative industries. I am highly experienced in digital marketing strategy and based in Norway. I work with a large list of clients, help them attain their goals. I'm also an educator, or at least I try to be, teaching digital marketing and providing talks and courses in several institutions. ADHD, my talk will be a bit back and forth because my late diagnosis kind of makes me go a bit back and forth. I'll try to keep it contained. My absolute main focus is trying to provide value to the people I talk to. So if you have any feedback or anything like that, please go to this website and give me feedback on what you gained from this talk or anything like that. So let's begin with existential question. Why? Why do we do this? Most businesses, they are in the business of making money, of course, but it's actually the best business practice to use those kinds of ways of thinking, because the more value you can bring to your customer, the more valuable you will become to your customer, and hence their willingness to give you money. Why do we use personas? To help someone. You have to know them. We all know the great philosopher that once said, you can't help unknowns. No, wait, that was me. But you can't help people you don't know, meaning that you need to know their needs, their wants, and their goals. Think of it this way. Could you help a random person on the street if you didn't know what they wanted? No, you couldn't. Journey, you need also to know what they want to attain, what they want to do. If you don't know where people are going, it's very hard to help them. I learned this the very, very hardest way, and I'll tell you about this later, I promise. And then it's about moving people. You can push, you can pull, drag, inspire, encourage, influence, persuade, arouse. You can touch consensually or metaphorically. You can resonate, affect, impact people. You can tug on their heartstrings or in their extremities. Don't do that. But there are numerous ways to move people, whether it's physically, mentally, or metaphorically. And using storytelling, digital advertising, micro conversions, pull, push, all of this, you can help them move throughout your journey, or it's their journey, but it's in your ecosystem. I'm sure you catch my drift. You seem very smart. Let's jump into it. Persona. To be able to help someone, to guide them. Since we already talked about this famous philosopher saying you can't help unknowns, you need to know them. The more you know about your potential client, the more likely you are to make him or her your actual client. So personas are a powerful archetype thing, embodies the various segments of your customer base. You can start trying to understand your customers on a more profound level, shedding the light on their needs, aspirations, motivations, like that. If you want to know the goal, you need to kind of know the needs and wants. If you don't do that, it's actually, your help is actually most likely unwanted and could be damaging to your business. You have to know the issues that your persona is facing. If they have certain goals, certain aspirations, if you can help them attain that, you will become much more valuable to them. And you need to know their situation. If they are trying to achieve a certain type of goal in a certain type of setting, und so weiter, as we say in Germany. I don't know the German, sorry. But imagine you have two people moving a couch, or at least they're trying to. They're trying to move it through a doorway, and you have, they're really struggling. It's actually totally stuck. Can you see it? Can you see the people standing there just insanely angry with the couch and the doorway and everything? Enter a helper. Someone comes along, says, do you want any help? They say, yes, please. And they start the struggle together. Now there are three people. They are sweating. They are cursing, maybe a bit. And they're trying to move this couch. And then you have the resignation. Oh, we give up. We can't get this sofa out of here. Out? Are you trying to get the sofa out? I thought we were trying to get the sofa in. I have been pushing the whole time, and you've been pulling. So if you don't know what they're trying to do, it's very hard to help in a good way. Let's go to the personas. This is an example of a persona. This man is Emil. Emil doesn't exist, but he's a big part of our targeted persona for one of our clients. We are trying to figure out his demographics, like how old is he married, does he have kids, what's his background, what kind of job does he have, what are his values, and the more we can know about Emil, the better. So all of these things, his goals, his problems, his frustrations, where he goes to find information, what kind of information he's looking for, what kind of industry-specific things he's looking at, and what kind of information is resonating with our persona. When we know all of these things, we can start on our journey. As you might have understood, just knowing who someone is it's not enough to be able to help them in the best way possible. You have to think about their contexts. Context. Yes, context. Do you ever catch yourself in saying a word so many times that it becomes meaningless? I do that a lot. Knowing who they are isn't the whole thing. Knowing where they are, both physically, I think, and kind of in their journey, is also necessary. So you need to know what's their context, what phase are they in, so that you can help them achieve their next steps. When you know someone's destination, both physically and metaphorically and technically, it's much easier to help them when you want to help them kind of achieve that next step. It's all about the touch points on their journey. That might be social media, it might be TV, might be a poster on the street. It can actually be whatever. When you know their destination, you can use the touch points on that journey to be able to help them. All the steps of this journey, your personas, they will have questions that need answering. That's a Lord of the Rings quote, if you didn't catch it. There are several more inside this presentation. It will be 5 points if you get them all. No, it's not. I don't think so. There is no competition, or maybe. But these questions need answering. They need answering to help move the persona one step closer. And that's basically what it's all about. It's about moving people. So you can help them move from step to step. And when you do that, you get a journey. So this is also an example of a buyer's journey we have made for this client. You have a dreaming phase where the persona is kind of dreaming, what kind of vacation do I want to go on? What kind of experiences do I want to have? How do I want to go? Like just dreaming. You have a lot of touch points. You have a lot of inspirations that you can. I want to say force onto the persona. Don't do that, but that you can entice them with, and they can go from the dreaming to the planning, dreaming, research, planning, booking, and then you have the waiting before they go and so forth. If you plan up the whole journey map, you can actually have all the problems they will have, all the questions that you need to answer. And I think this is so fun because here you get to use your creativity, you get to use your knowledge about your customer, you get to use your knowledge about your products. This, you can see here, it's a tool I'm using to map out both the personas and the customer journey maps. To have something like this, you could use like just Post-its, you could use whiteboard, blackboard, but to have something like this that is shareable, editable, and you can use it in a larger organization also, I find to be really fruitful. We're not talking about fruit today though. So let's get to moving people. When I talk about moving people, I mean both in the different audiences and otherwise. When you move people within audiences, you can optimize the messaging so that you can talk to the correct persona within that step of the journey they're in. And since you do that, you get to be contextual in the marketing. That means that you can have the optimized message in the right context. So all of this utilizes the different kinds of conversions you get in the advertising platforms. And a couple of years ago, we had a really big shift. I guess you remember. So let's talk about the shift, and that's a shift with an S, with an F, the shift. So the impact of the iOS 14 update kind of blew up everything in the marketing sphere. That is where we try to utilize something we call result-driven marketing. I also have a webinar thing about that, but yeah, let me know if you want to see that also. The iOS 14 update made it more difficult for businesses to gather the data about their users. This was because it kind of required the user to opt in to be gathered data about. It's kind of been, if the user didn't opt in, you wouldn't get any data. So basically, Apple kind of killed the magic. Let's move on. I will now try to explain to you the secret on how we do this. I talked to you a bit about the result-driven marketing. It's almost a bit like, if you remember the 80s show MacGyver. I feel like I aged myself a bit now. It's a really, really interesting show. But it's making the most of what you have to get the results you want. You can utilize the platform's own micro conversions and the results of each step in the journey to inform the next step. So when you have all the data you need, it's like a MacGyver in the lab. You just have to be creative to kind of get the resources you need to attain the goals. So with result-driven marketing, you can utilize the micro conversions. It's like a close relative to data-driven marketing, but since you don't have the data, it's more like you asked Kopla's it's a close relative to data-driven marketing. So if you invited both of them to dinner, it would be like a family gathering, but one of them is a little more focused on the result part of the equation. RDM, result-driven marketing. What is it? The approach allows marketers to track the progress of the buyer's journey, make adjustments to the strategies as needed. And when we measure the results of each effort, we can identify the areas where we need to focus attention to get the desired results. When we do this, we can identify the areas that need to improve, and we can kind of see where do we have the best return on investment. After all, if you can't envision and measure what success is, you can't improve it. So in what other metaphors can you explain result-driven marketing, I hear you ask? Well, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, only that the needle is your business. That's why it's important to make it as sharp as possible. I don't know, but you can do that by helping the customers to qualify themselves by their actions. Imagine this, or you don't have to imagine it; you can just see it. This is just an example of a kind of marketing campaign where we have used this kind of steps and to let the customer qualify themselves. So I really like to visualize things, and we put this campaign into 5 steps, like a funnel or a staircase. It's easier to picture, at least for me. And after all, they say a picture is about worth 1,000 words. Or in this case, maybe 1,000 customers. I don't know if that's correct, but anyhow. So if you take a look at this amazing step 1, it is just made for piquing the interest of the potential client. This will be taken to a totally cold audience. They don't know anything about us from beforehand. They have not been to our website. They have not been interacting with our social media. The only thing we're trying to do is to get them to watch this video. This video could be information. It could be like just a peak of the interest. It is not trying to sell the product. We're just trying to tease the potential customer. ThroughPlay is an optimization for video view objective. So it's like a cherry on top of the cake, which allows advertisers to optimize and choose to pay only for the ads that are played to completion or 15 seconds or longer. And since this is within the Meta platform, you are allowed to move people between audiences based on their interaction with the video. So we are kind of like a tour guide, guiding the audience to the next level or step or stairs. I'm getting my metaphors all mixed up, but you understand. It's using the micro conversions in the platform to move them along. What happens then? Step 2, it will be more trying to inform around the product. We are still not trying to sell anything. We are just trying to entice our customers further along in their buyer's journey. This could be like an informational article. I always recommend to have at least 2 different approaches, like one logical one, or one or rational, and one emotional, so that you can see what kind of messaging works the best for our target audience. You could say it's time to take the required steps to success, but that would be really bad pun. So let's not do that. This step is looking for clicks. So if a potential customer clicks either how easy it is to get started with X or how to choose the best X, then you know kind of what path they are on. So what happens after they have done this? Then we move them to the next stage. Step 3, we can actually, for the first time, try to sell a product or service. We can do this based on what of the articles your user has clicked on before. And we also know that they have seen our first video, so we can have a targeted message based on their persona and buyer's journey. So in step 4, I would say we could have some sort of fear of missing out hook where they can get like a coupon code or anything like this. And this is where we try to actually sell our products or services. Right? And then in step 5, we know that they have bought something. We can then use step 5 to either do upsell, cross-sell, or we can do it. We can use step 5 to strengthen their resolve. We can tell them that they have made the wise decision. We can tell them that this was the correct thing to do. And all of these things are really good for making sure that the client is safe in their decision. You can also use step 5 to activate your new client, to make them feel like they have made the right decision. After all, customer's choice is only as good as the affirmation that follows. It's not exactly correct, but I think step 5 here could be like a security blanket for your customer. And we all love security blankets, I guess. I do, at least. When we have shown the client that they were happy, I've shown this 5-step funnel to my client. He was quite happy with the results. But as you can see, step 1 here, not very good return on investment. He asked if it was possible to just turn off the step 1 and then keep the rest, because it's using almost half of the budget. But I said it's almost like receiving your new house and say everything looks awesome, but I don't want the foundation of the building because it's gray and it's boring. So this 5-step funnel really shows the value of result-driven marketing inside a buyer's journey. And every step on the way is one step closer to guiding the potential customer or client to become fulfilled in their quest to solve that problem or wish. And that is kind of what I think we all should strive for. Helping our potential clients to become fulfilled and satisfied in their journey to become our customers. So I have now shown you that this 5-step funnel really shows the value of result-driven marketing in a buyer's journey, where we have the persona, we know what they want, we know how to help them. Because when you guide them every step of the way, if they don't want to spend 15 seconds watching your product or service, I don't want to spend any more money on them, and neither should you. We should focus our efforts on the people that we can help the most. And those are the people we know. Those are the people we know where they're going and what we can help them achieve. So the overall results of this campaign, it's really good. It's about 28 times the ad spend back in sales. So of course you have to take what I say with a pinch or maybe half a kilo of salt, because it would be quite foolish of me to show you a really bad campaign, but I can promise you it's in no way unique. So it takes time. It takes a lot of time actually. And I think we spent around 6 months building this kind of funnel. And when we started, we only had the step 1 and 3. And then we have to get to know our customers better. We need to figure out how we can bring maximum amount of impact for those clients. And it's nice to see that it's evergreen. That means that you can work on improving it all the time. The main structure is set, so you can spend the time tweaking it and making it better, not spending time on making totally new campaigns all the time. That is one of the things I like really much. How to build it? Good question. Where should you start? How can you start building your own result-driven marketing funnel in a buyer's journey? Well, you have to be telling the story. You need to know the persona you are talking to. You need to know their wants, their needs, and what they want to achieve. You have to find out where they are right now, not physically, but metaphorically in their buyer's journey. And when you do that, you know the questions they are going to have. Then you have to tell the story about that persona having this issue, problem, or anything like that. And you should kind of be able to tell this story blindfolded. It's not hard to tell a story blindfolded. I think I can talk quite well with my eyes closed. So, but you should know it by heart. I think it's the right way to say it. When you have the story and personas and the journey, then it is about making the floodgates. You have to kind of figure out what are the steps needed to be completed for the persona to move within those steps. And what are the questions they need to have answered to be able to sell the journey, basically. So you can say qualifying a customer, it's like an experiment. It takes time, effort, and patience. But if you put in the work, the results will be very rewarding. It's like the old saying goes, time and effort makes better customer experience. I think that's how the saying goes. And then when you have qualified the customer, you can go straight to the reward. You can't go, it takes time. So that is basically what I need to convey to you. Every step of this also takes time. It's no magic switch that you can flick and then everything is happy-go-lucky. It takes time and you need stamina and endurance. Are you ready to start building this today? I hear you scream and ask. I don't hear that because that's not how this technology works. But your marketing shouldn't be a shot in the dark. With this kind of thinking, this kind of, you can get really good results. So I am offering the people here assessment. If you want, you can go to the link below or above, I don't remember, or the one I showed early in the talk. And you can have an assessment. We can go through and see, are you ready for using this kind of framework? What should you do to get started? And all of these kind of things. Let's go to the next stage, which I think will be really exciting. Do you have any questions? Questions, please? Anything? Hopefully. Yeah, because that was one of the things I saw that you asked about. So I was planning to just talk more about how to actually find the right persona, because we didn't go through that enough in the presentation. I realized, so give me 2 seconds there, because if we take Emil here, for instance, Emil, we made Emil based on everything that we know about our clients' customers. So that we spent a lot of time both talking to the clients that our client has. We talked to people that ended up spending a lot of money with them. We used the analytics from their website, and then based on data models, you can segment different people into the different personas. So when you start segmenting people, you can say that, for instance, this kind of persona, it's a high average order value customer, and they have these kind of characteristics. And based on that kind of information, you can start building out the persona. So for me, it is very important that you combine both the know-how that the people in the business have. One of my clients, we went through their whole invoicing system, and we could see all the companies that they had done like the largest amount of invoicing to, because then we could say that these types of clients are the most important to you monetarily, and these are the people in those companies that have contacted you. So for instance, Emil, when we segmented this persona, this is one of the segments of the Google Analytics data that has left the most amount of money in the web shop thing. And based on all the commonalities and characteristics of that persona, we can, for instance, see that, okay, places Emil is likely to, I can jump to the next one, you can see, places he's most likely to visit are like restaurants and spa and stuff like that, because we know this from the Google Analytics. In addition to that, we can know that he is interested in these parts of our website because we can see the movement there. And also, we can see that the interests they have shown in other parts of the web, because with Google Analytics, for instance, you get a lot of data. You get a lot of data from your users. So we use all the data we have, interviews with our customers, interview with our customers, and together that kind of explains the information we need to make good decisions about who our personas are. Okay, I will see some more questions. Sophia, you ask, how do you as a marketer convince management or stakeholders that journey mapping is worth all the time, money, and research? That's super easy, barely an inconvenience. No, it's not. That's actually one of the hardest things to do, because this is not correct for all businesses, but unfortunately for many. A lot of people in management, they have no clue about marketing, at least. Maybe in other things also. But they don't understand marketing. Many of the people I talk to in my job, where I kind of trying to help them convey this to their management team, it is maybe one person, maybe two, that have the responsibility of the marketing for a whole company. And it's like the management, they think that this person is a magical little leprechaun. That basically, you do all the marketing things, right? So you can do like web, you can write the text, you can do the ads, you can do analytics, maybe you can do some video production and some editing also, maybe. And if you could also do the social media and yeah, so it's basically like five jobs that they just have put into one of these marketers. So explaining why it is important, I find, is extremely difficult if you can't connect it to actual money. Because I can explain it like this. Most people we are trying to get on the train with the whole buyer's journey, they don't understand it. They do a cost-benefit analysis, and then they see, okay, the cost of doing this is $30,000. What are the benefits? And if you can't put a dollar amount or a monetary amount on the benefit, it is a dollar amount, and it would feel very good on the other side. It is very hard for very economically minded people to understand that it is necessary. So if you can actually connect the monetary value to mapping up the buyer's journey, then you have an immense opportunity to actually get them to understand this. So for instance, you could get examples like when you actually utilize personas and the buyer's journey, we have seen people that can decrease the average money that they spend on advertising, but with better results. So if they get like one kind of return on investment on their advertising right now, we could do like a check and see how much would they most likely save by doing better marketing. Because a lot of people, they're like shotgunning it. So you just shoot in the dark and you hope to hit something. If you have a good persona, a good buyer's journey, you can actually, I don't want to keep it on like a violent train of thought, but since we did the shotgun thing, it's more like a sniper. But just trying to hit the correct people. Sounds really bad, Hallgeir. Stop talking about that. And then
You were talking about personas and about creating your email persona. And Patricia has a question of how can we avoid trying to confirm our beliefs about our personas?
that's a really good question. And to me, and I have to say, I think I might be a bit biased here, because my recommendation would be to use someone like me, like an external party, to actually do it, because then you don't have the implicit bias that you are going to have as working in the company, or at least having someone that can be on the outside looking in, just as a sparring partner or someone that you can bounce your ideas off. I think that is the most intelligent way to actually, as much as possible, try to get rid of those biases. Does that answer your question, Patricia? I hope so.
Thanks. Yes, as far as I can see, yes, it does. Thank you, Hallgeir. We have another question from Nina. What sections do you use for journey mapping as a marketer? Are there any specialties here?
Well, that very much depends on the journey we are trying to map up, if I understand this question correctly, because depending on the product or service or whatever you're trying to achieve, and the persona you're trying to communicate with, the steps will be different. Might not be like a revolutionary difference in the different steps, but there will be some differences. For instance, in this example where we have done traveling, there is longer time between you start dreaming about going to the northern parts of Norway to do, for instance, Northern Light safari, and you might most likely dream about this for many years before you actually get to do it. So that, or buying a new iPhone cover, the journeys are quite different in length, I would say. I had to disconnect my Visa card with my Instagram account, because I always got up these really interesting iPhone cases, and since the card was connected to it, I could just buy them. So it's like a surprise in your mailbox suddenly one day. But yeah, hopefully not everyone is like me. But it's like the difference in the buyer's journey is vast. So in this case, well, here you can see like the whole thing, and this is really just the beginning of the buyer's journey for this client also, because you can use this kind of tool to map up everything that happens from when they start dreaming to they have booked the travel, and then there is a period of waiting before they're going there. And we as marketers, we then know that this person is going to this place at this time. Then we can do these kinds of marketing activities. We know what time they are arriving. We know what kind of activities they're doing. So we could do a lot more after this, but this was just an example, not to dive too deep into all the opportunities that are actually possible.
And what about the layers? Do you focus more on goals and KPIs or some kind of emotional state?
Well, that is also a really good question, because when we talk about the different kinds of layers also depend on the journey. Because if I have a journey where I have mapped out all the questions that I know that the person will have, I like to put in the opportunity for excitement, or the opportunities you as marketer have to do a bit extra. If you have some sort of if you manage to bring joy to someone just inside a marketing campaign, I find that to be nice. But you can do the touch point, the conversion rates, and that's it. I find that to be a bit boring, because if you manage to kind of capture the mental state that your persona is going to have most likely in this stage, then you can also contextualize the message in a totally different way.
Thank you, Hallgeir. Thank you from Nina here. And we have another question from Mina. And this one is kind of a personal question. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur? And in becoming so, what were the challenges? How did you discover this importance of creating audience personas?
What inspired me to become an entrepreneur? And okay, if we start with that one. Given that I do attain a high level of ADHD, it is most likely that nobody else wanted me, because I am terrible at working within like really set boundaries. And every time I have really authoritarian, someone tells me very much exactly what to do and how to do it, I become really annoyed and opposed to doing it exactly that way. So that is most likely one of the reasons. When we kind of get to why I started doing this, it's more because it is very, very natural to me. I don't know if this has to do with ADHD or whatever it is, but it is very easy for me to see the patterns and pattern recognition, and kind of, I see that you are doing this. That means that you most likely want to do this. And if I manage to do this to help you do that, then you will like me more. So that is kind of it is a way for me to use my creativity and energy in most positive way that is possible for me, and without so many people telling me exactly what to do all the time. That, I think that was the answer to the first part of the question.
Yes, and the second part was, how did you discover this importance of creating audience personas?
Well, that was pure logic. I started doing this long before it was like a term, because where was it? It happened. I think the first time I kind of thought about this in that way was when we were making a website for a client, and the client wanted to have like these really bad colors, that it was just, I like this color, and I didn't want to do it, most likely because he was very authoritarian and he wanted it exactly his way, and it was no reason for it. But I remember asking him, but is this website for you or is it for your clients? And then he was like, no, it is for my clients. Okay, maybe we should ask them what kind of colors they would like instead of you just deciding. He was like, yeah, but I like this color a lot anyway. So I didn't actually get to use the theory behind it, but I started to think more constructively and concretely about this.
I think we actually have some time for one more question.
We are lacking the data, all the data that we need, and then at the same time, the customer journey has become, like a zigzag, so it makes it much harder. So what I'm thinking is, when I'm tracing the buyer journey, and then everything that I have to do to get their attention or answer their questions, etc., like sometimes I just feel that I'm a little bit lost. So I just want to have your opinion on that, how to make it more efficient.
Well, I used to think so also. We started using marketing software where we kind of map up also all the touch points we have so that we can see back in time from the point of purchase, kind of. We can see, okay, now this person has done a purchase with us. What were the steps that happened before this? So we can see what kind of ads did they click on, what kind of articles or blog posts were they visiting, what kind of webinars that we did they do. So you can do this now, but it's harder than it was before, and you have to be creative in your way of attaining that data.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. I think we have to be creative as never before. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hallgeir, once again.
If you want to see more events like this, make sure to check the upcoming ones at uxpressia.eventbrite.com or check the recordings we've got on this channel. Take care, and I will see you around.